True Better You, Simone Claridge here. And this is a follow-up video which was recorded in November 2017 with Giedrius. You may remember that he was attending the World Championship in skydiving, swooping in particular, and he was flying with his parachute through the course for speed, for accuracy and for distance. And the accident that happened was on a training stage just one day before the competition started. And due to air turbulences, which affected the performance of his parachute, he had an accident while he was flying over the pond. Just before entering the course, he hit the water flying at about 90 miles per hour. Giedrius could be saved, but his spine was seriously injured, and now his real healing journey began. Now, a year later, he has found different ways of healing, deeper levels. For me, it was completely mind-blowing what is possible within a short amount of time in a real healing sense. Find out what Giedrius used for secrets in order to truly heal, and feel how I felt at the end of the video. I tell you, I really felt happy, I felt content, and I felt something of truth has been talked to me. And I would love to share this now with you so that you can benefit as well as I did. So thanks again for Giedrius and for everyone who's watching. At the end of this video you'll find a link to click on so that you can follow up and see the previous video and enjoy this one as well. Thank you so much. See you soon.
This was like 180-degree change. Yeah, that's something else. I thought I was living healthy kind of way, but I know now that I wasn't at all. I mean, not the standard American diet, but more conscious kind of diet, but still, I mean, a lot of meat and stuff like that. So that was not a good diet. I thought I'm taking better, care of myself. I mean, food-wise, of course, I didn't eat hamburgers and stuff like that. I never liked the fast food, but I still ate a lot of meat. And so that's what it is. And of course, some grains and milk. I like the milk. I mean, good stuff. I'm drinking a lot of that. So, but now, I mean, stuff is coming out of the body. And actually, I'm on a third week on a master fast, and I just dry fasted for 2 days. And all of a sudden, this healing reaction, I mean, came up. The skin kind of, I had a lot of like rashes on the skin, little pimples, and so something is coming out or dying off. I mean, dry fasting is incredible. I mean, it's not incredible, but that's the only state that our body heals. And as soon as we put something into the body, I mean, we take away that energy from healing. And so that energy goes towards the processing whatever they put in our body. And now I feel even the juice, the simplest thing, I mean, that you can get in. And I feel already like body's losing the energy. I feel like a little bit more kind of off of balance and stuff, a little bit, little changes here and there. I mean, I feel subtle changes in the body, and so even the juice, the simple juice, I mean, it takes your energy away because body processing it and takes whatever it's good for the body, but it has to eliminate, and so all that process, I mean, from going in, from going out, takes some energy. And even the liquids, I mean, I can feel that big time. I don't know where to start. So when I came into this world, I was Giedrius Kasiulyna, obviously. my parents gave me a name. So I was assigned, I mean, for this experience in the world. And so, of course, the childhood as normal as a lot of people had. And later on, when I was, what, about 28 or something, yeah, 27, I started this hobby, the skydiving. And so that's where gave me a lot of fun in life. And of course, beside the fun, as you know, that's why I'm here in the interview with you. It brought me into the biggest challenge of my life. And so back in 2009, I was, after about 10 years in skydiving, being in skydiving, I came into this kind of interesting direction in the skydiving and the swooping. So it's a very fast flying above the ground through the course, for the distance, for the speed, for the accuracy. And so I love that. I love that thing. And so because I became a little better in that aspect, so I was at the time I was able to represent my country in the world championship in skydiving, in that swooping competition, and it was in South Africa. And so that's where I went for that competition. And the thing happened the day before competition started on a practice run. And so on one of the practice run, in conditions of air were a little bit different that day, which I didn't know. I realized it a little later after I woke up in the hospital. And so it was turbulent air. And so when you're flying through the turbulent air, you have basically no control. You hear the airplanes crash on a landing when they fly through the turbulent air and stuff like that. And so the human eye cannot detect that. And so it didn't help me, obviously. So on the last jump of that day, that's what happened to me. And so I flew through that mess, through that turbulence. And so at the very high speeds, I did have impact. So I landed in the water. I hit the water very hard. And so from that moment, I do not remember anything at all. I mean, consciousness just kind of deletes that stuff away. And so you don't remember that kind of worse stuff that happens to you. So you have a chance to cope again with life and not going through the details, the hard details of your life, remembering all that stuff. And so I woke up after 10 days of being in coma in the hospital after the accident, and I could not remember what happened even a moment before I closed my eyes. So I blinked my eyes, that's it. I would not remember what happened a few seconds ago. So it was just that kind of, I wouldn't say bad, but when your consciousness is trying to stay here in this dimension, it takes all resources, I mean, just to keep you in this dimension. And you are not thinking about anything else. You don't cope with the rest. I mean, you're not dealing with your life around you. You're just trying to stay here. And so it was really, really tough time. But I did stay in this dimension, obviously, and so I have some stuff to do here. So, and slowly that recovery started at that moment when I remember I opened my eyes and I knew that I'm gonna only stop then when I'm gonna be totally healthy again, and nothing stops me. And it's kind of incredible because I don't even put the effort, so to say, into things, but things kind of coming so easily for me. I mean, and that doesn't have anything to do with my with me, with this physical me. That drive is coming from deep within, and so that's the power that drives you in life. I mean, that's coming from within, and people who cannot or want to do that, but they cannot succeed doing that, that means they are not ready yet. Simply, they are not ready yet. But that's how all the recovery process started. So it was like a awakening call for me as well. I mean, that force shook me very hard and said, "Hey, come on, wake up finally." So, and after that, like I said, I mean, life changed 180 degrees. I would say even more than that. So, a lot of things came to my life which I didn't even I mean, I had something in the background of my mind, so I knew that it will come, but I didn't know that consciously. Subconsciously, of course, I knew that. And now that I remember even the youngest days of my childhood, I mean, it's, oh, for instance, one thing, like, I always knew that I'm immortal as a little kid. And then when I grew a little bigger, older, I thought, how come you cannot be immortal? You see all these relatives and friends, I mean, not friends, but older people dying, and so you're going to those services, and you see people, physical bodies in a casket, and I realize now which part of you is not, I mean, is immortal. That's the soul. That's the source of from where we're coming from, all of us. And so, in that respect, we all are. We all are that.
Just elaborate a little bit what you have done to get now to this point. I mean, you are talking well. You're very well speaking. You have no problems anymore in that sense. You look good. So tell us a little what you have done.
Well, it was a gradual journey, of course. About a year after accident, my friend, I mean, and he's back from my country, from Lithuania, he recommended to me this yogi, and he was a guy from India. And so basically that's how he introduced me to the yogi, and he was visiting here actually. So we went to that studio, yoga studio, and so I started yoga in on a probably second or third time that I was there. Yogi told me that if you would switch to vegetarian diet, of course it would help your healing. And he didn't finish that sentence, and I knew already that I'm vegetarian already. So that night I came back home, and so I took all the stuff from the fridge and put together and into the bag and gave it away to my friend. And so I became vegetarian over a minute, over moments when he was in the sentence of saying that. So I already knew that I'm going to become one. And so it took about 2 years. So that was back in 2010. Yeah, so maybe 3 years, because towards the end, no, 2 years. Towards the end of 2012, I was talking to my friends, and so that's how things, lead one another. And so she told me that she had a friend in Florida who met this Dr. Morse, and so she was in the bed for like a year, and after healing with him for about a year, she started walking a little bit, and so I started watching the videos on YouTube, and found information about that, and so that's how I found Dr. Morse, and so that was another jump in the recovery, of course, because I eliminated all the grains, all the yogurts that I was shoving into my body by suggestions of that yogi. So my lymphatic system probably was plugged up even more because of that. Not probably, but of course it was. And so, yep, that was the year of 2013 that I came onto this fruitarian diet, and that's where I started herbs and tinctures and stuff like that. And so, what's that? About 4 years. That's that I'm on a path, and like I said, even later on, like about 2 years later, so that was about 2015, maybe 14, that, yeah, 2014 actually, that I started looking into this information about dry fasting. And so, yeah, probably in 14, closer to 15, I started dry fasting one day at a time. Like a couple weeks before that, I started water fasting, like for one day, for 2 days, and switched right into dry fasting, because I tried that water fasting like a while ago when I was back in the high school. Yep, and all of a sudden, and I remember it came to me out of nowhere in those days, and I did like 5 days of water fast, and it was so good. But the body felt so good that I told my mom, it feels so good all of a sudden, so I don't want to go back into eating. And yeah, so in those days of no internet and stuff like that, so I can't even remember how I found it or how I started it, but so when I was 17, that was the first experience with deeper fasting, dry fasting. Water fasting. So dry fasting I started, yeah, in 2014, and I was doing just a day at the time, in a week, should I say, and then in 2016, that was a year, yeah, and all of a sudden, you cannot do that just by will of your mind. Let's say, oh yeah, I'm gonna dry fast for a week now. No way. I felt that kind of urge for that, or the call for that from within, and it was deep journey. So last summer, yeah, in 2016, out of 92 days of a summer, and that was between the classes with Dr. Morris from level 1 to level 2. And I dry fasted for 48 days, but not continuously, in intervals. So that was I started that, yeah, in June. And just before level 1 with Dr. Morse, which was in May, I think. So I dry fasted the longest before that for 5 days. And all of a sudden, I heard that news very clearly inside. 7 days is going to be not a problem at all. And so for the first time, I did dry fast for 7 days. And so I was still working and doing normal stuff in life. And 7 days came so easily for me. I mean, it was like nothing. And so when you have that drive from within, you are so confident. You just feel that power coming from within, and so you don't even have to deal with anything from outside. You don't even think, oh yeah, how hard it's going to be, and maybe gonna this and that happen, and you just go along, and you just enjoy the process. And like I said, I mean, you are following something which is way much more powerful than this mind, because the mind is just a tool in the creator's hands. And so that's how it started. And all of a sudden, after level 1, like I said, it was beginning of June, I started the first cycle, about 12 days of dry fasting. So it was first cycle, then they did about 24-day break, so 1.5 time break, and I did 15 days of dry fasting, which is, people die after 3 days, right? Without water and food. So it's a bull crap. Yep, yep. And so in 15 days, I mean 2 days, 2 weeks in a row, working every single day. I mean, I worked from Monday to Friday through Friday, and I did 15 days, and then again break about 15, 7, so 23 or something day break, and again I did 9 days, and then break again, and 12 days. So it was a lot of dry fasting, so 48 days total in that summer. And after that summer, wow, that's a lot of good things, I mean, happened to this body. Because when you're in that mode, in the dry fasting mode, the creator of all, I mean, he puts all the effort into bringing up your body, this physical body of yours, not you, but the body of yours, into close as possible to that blueprint which was originally created. And so all the obstacles that you created through the lifetimes, I mean, not only you, but your ancestors as well. And so it takes, and you're not going to heal in one night, in one session. It's impossible. I mean, we had so many experiences, and I mean, in the bodies. And so we put so many obstacles, I mean, through eating and stuff like that, but it's still part of creation. So you still want to enjoy every single moment. I mean, wherever you're at. I mean, eating meat, eating vegetables, eating fruits, not eating at all. I mean, it does not matter. You are enjoying the creation. And that's the thing. I mean, you always are connected, always. Consciously, maybe you don't know that, but subconsciously, you are always there, always. You're a part of creation. You see things around you, created just for you. And that's what it is. When you go deep into dry fasting, that consciousness that gives you that opportunity through your body to experience all that beauty of this life, not is trying, but is working very hard on to bring your this physical expression as much as close as possible to the blueprint, like I said, that created in the very beginning. So that's why it's the highest state of a healing. And everything else, the juices, the fruits, of course, they are highest energy, the food-wise in this planet, but they still are the food that we have to process. And so that's the highest energy you want to consume in order to not to bring those obstacles into your body. And the lower energy you consume, obviously, the lower you get. And so that's why we get all those diseases and stuff like that. And so,
you're saying those are created obstacles because they start to accumulate also then, if I say it in my words, if you take like fruits, they are not just high in energy but also easy to digest. They don't create a physical blockage, but they also don't create an emotional distress to it, because obviously the thoughts, I don't know, the thoughts of the consciousness of the fruits might be a little bit easier and to digest for our system than maybe a piece of pork. I don't know what your experience with that is, but it seems when we ingest something, we ingest that consciousness, and it seems to me, it's not just the food, it's just the physical part of it. It seems that the foods are the happier ones, if I want to make it short, But what's your experience on that?
well, like you said, it's all good. I don't see it as good or as bad. I just see it. So the person eats pork, and still he's a part of creation. So he's just going through experiences. Just imagine the pyramid. So when soul comes into this life, and I'm not talking about this lifetime, I'm talking about lifetimes. And so it comes into the lifetime, and at the very bottom of that pyramid, and his final destination is the very top of the pyramid, where he reaches that consciousness, state of consciousness. And so, from lowest point to the highest point, there is a lot of distance. And so he's going through those experiences, and it does not matter. Where you at, you still have to enjoy yourself. Even you eat the pork or you don't eat the pork, you still part of creation at any level of that pyramid. And so it does not matter. You are not better, you are not worse at any point. And just because we are at this point, we cannot point to the people who are eating the meat and stuff like that and say, oh, they are bad, I'm good. No way. We still are oneness. We still are. That's how creation enjoys itself. Through our unbelievable, dispersity, variety of the expression. And so it just enjoys itself, playing with in the different fields and stuff like that. And so till you reach that point, you are going to go through all the experiences anyway. And so you cannot point to a person who eats the meat and you know that you did that in your past. And so it doesn't make any sense. So that's why we cannot say we are better than they are. No, we just enjoy creation at any point where we at that creation, and that's the deal. But then when you wake up a little bit more and more uh, up to that state of where you're coming from, and so you realize that the higher energy you're going to put in your body, and actually less of that you're going to put in your body, the closer to that state you are coming to. So, and that's my point.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I cannot say that something is good nor bad. I'm training myself, or say it in this way. I feel more than I want to judge. I'm more into the resonance of things, how I feel about it, because it's most close to my state of being. Doesn't mean someone else is bad. And that's what I help people also to understand. It's more important to resonate with what is true to you at any given moment and choose that. And then, I mean, just make an experience with it and then choose again, you know, just make a little bit more progress in your own choosing and realizing, wow, I'm choosing that, you know. So let the other people do what they do, because it's their spiel and you have no idea. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they do what they do. You know, there must be something they want or need, or you know. But I mean, in my experience, it was like when I have been eating like pork, as East German, right? We had a lot. I did feel very different. And when I had then phases where I didn't eat, because as a child you play a lot, you don't eat that much, right? So you go out and play and be active, and then I mean, I felt good, and then you go for food, and then it slows you down, right? So I didn't make a conscious connection at this point, but I mean, now I do, and yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that, like, I feel the fruits and the herbs are talking more to me, and like a da 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 sense, you know, it's more uplifting, it's more fun, and supporting more what I'm looking for. So and I still have maybe a piece of fish or whatever when I wish to. It's my wish, you know. So it's not that I put myself in a pedestal and say this is better. You know, I choose and pick.
Yeah, that's how you perceive things. I mean, for every bite that you put in your body, you gotta be thankful for that experience. And to blame yourself for eating something that doesn't make sense. And you know, there's the things, they are actually deeper. I'm not gonna go into that, but everything is meant for your journey. So anything you do, I mean, it's meant for your journey. So don't regret things that are meant for your journey. And so whatever comes to your life, just enjoy that to the fullest. I mean, like you said, I mean, right now I don't see things as bad or as good. I only see them, I notice them, and so that's the best thing. I mean, you can do in life, is that's why people go into depression and stuff like that, when thinking about, oh, if I would do this, if I would do that, you know, constantly thinking and about different possibilities. And if you just accept everything that comes into your experience, it becomes totally different experience of the life. You know, you just enjoy everything. So whatever comes to your life. Mhm.
Would it be possible also to explain a little bit what for healing reactions, I mean, what for process you went through? Because I see a lot of fear rising when something different shows up, even in my own body, right? So, or I mean, different emotions. I know those are emotions, but it's probably for people that never have done this, they they might need some help and guidance on that. What is your experience with?
When different stuff comes up.
To the detox phase, or say you did a dry fasting, right? For the longest, I remember it's at 15 days, right? And I mean, there are phases of I mean, I don't know, maybe you talk about those phases, they appeared over the period, what you experienced and what you freed yourself from, and what needed to go.
Well, like I said, at this point, uh, and it started a while ago. After that experience of very deep awakening, very deep, and so that's what I kind of do in my life now. I just accept everything that comes into my experience, and the healing reactions, well, that's what it is. I mean, we're not going backwards, but the things that we put into our bodies, into our being, a while ago, they come kind of to the surface, and then again we got to deal with that stuff. But usually it doesn't take long. I mean, day, 2, 3 days, 4 days, like those rashes I have on my skin. It was about 2 days. Yeah, that was really bad. But this time I'm hitting really deep levels because the stuff I'm doing for 4 years, and all of a sudden this came onto the surface, and I didn't freak out. I mean, it happens. Yes, it shows up physically, but after 2 days, everything is subsiding again, and so I know. It fixed itself again, and so it just right now it's fading off big time. And so that's what it is. When the stuff comes to the surface, just don't freak out. And so let it be. And so the creator that created all, and your body included, it knows exactly what to do. And so if you not interfere with this process, then you got to let go of fear. That's, of course, that's the worst ingredient in your on your plate. And so you let go of that fear, and let Creator to fix all the problems when you dry fasting, especially. And so only then it has opportunity to perform that very, very deep healing. And so, yeah, basically you just, it's so easy for me, Simone. I can't even suggest something, or something like that, because people who are ready for this level, they will understand, they will know from within exactly what to do, or I would say what not to do. You do nothing. You just notice it, and so that's it. Stuff comes up to your life, and on emotional level as well. You have some emotions, and you just notice them, and so the in this case, of course, the meditation is big help, and so I don't meditate as much these days because all life for me is meditation. But sometimes after doing yoga, and I do yoga every single day, you just, without any thought, you just go into meditation state. And so in that process, when you that calm, a lot of things already at that point getting downloaded to your being, and so that's how you deal with that stuff as well. You gotta you have to calm that mind. I mean, you don't have to, but that it's a good thing to kind of slow process of that constant thinking. And so in that moment when you're in meditation, a lot of, you have big access to that source of everything. And so that's one tool that helps healing as well with those, or dealing with those healing reactions. And so
would you say that less eating is definitely, I mean, a really good part for receiving information, being more clear, is one of the easier parts to help this process?
well, in my experience, at least in my experience, yes. I mean, right now, if I'm not and I'm doing this for what, about maybe half of a year, I'm only eating two meals a day, and so I start my meal at about first meal about 11 noonish, kind of, and then the last meal at 5, 6 o'clock, and so that's enough, enough.
What are you eating then? I mean, what you like, or are you really going more for the energetics food?
In the morning, for the first meal, yeah, of course, lighter food and like fruits and stuff. So of course, the fruits are gonna be a big part of my diet. And for the last meal, again, I mean, sometimes I eat fruit, sometimes I eat salads and stuff like that. But when you want to reach that deep healing mode, I mean, of course, you got to go into deeper fasting. And like I said, for the last 2 years, because I felt plateau even on a fruit. So I started this master fast system, and so that's where the least energy comes into your body. That's drinking that juice only and herbs. And so the juice and herbs and a lot of dry fasting, intermittent dry fasting. I mean, so I'm fasting 16, 20 hours a day, and I just, like I said, I just came off of 2 day dry fasting within that massive fast. And so that dry fasting is my main tool, and that's why I put the most attention to dry fasting. And that's why I get the most healing from.
I do notice that you did Dr. Morse's food and herbal approach, and I also know that you have done the master fast. I mean, people don't know what master fast is, I guess. If you can say something about this in your experience, how they both fit together. And I mean, you already said that there are differences in both. But what helped you? Because I mean, it seems that a couple of people, they cannot do the master fast. I think, as you already said, they're not ready. And this is not an unconscious will thing. You have to probably feel it's all right. But maybe you can say what your experiences have been, because I mean, it's dangerous for people that they want to push through with their mind, I think, if they don't know to listen to their own body and listen to their own signs. So what is your experience on that?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, that was 2015, the end of 2014. That's where, after eating all fruits and being on these herbs and tinctures, I still didn't have filtration. So, and I was doing that for a couple of years. And so it still didn't bring me to the point of good filtration. And so the waste still was not leaving my body as I wished to. And that's why I found the massive fast system. And so the master fast system is basically just drinking the Concord grape juice, which is pasteurized. And mixing it with the lemon, and that's where it's the lightest juice that we can consume. And before that, prior to that, when I was on a fruits and fruit juices doing the protocols by Dr. Morris, I was juicing the fresh Concord juice. And so from like September to early November, because I live here in Illinois, and so a lot of Concord grapes here around us, from Wisconsin, from Michigan State, and so I was juicing the Concord grape in the fall for like 3 months or so, and I did not have as much of healing as I did on this master fast, and that's the thing, and I always was like, for at least for 2 years, I believe only raw is law, but when I plateaued on those protocols, and like I said, nothing can stop me at this point. I was looking for the ways to heal again, because for like almost half a year, and nothing was happening to my physical body, was not recovering. So I was plateauing on herbs and fruits, stuff like that. Because still, like I said, everything you put in your body takes energy to process, to digest and eliminate from your body. And so that master fast system is basically the lightest thing that you can put in your body, and so you can still go for a long period with that juice, but body does not take so much of energy for processing that stuff, and it allows to go into way deeper healing. And so that's why I experience, I don't feel plateau ever on the master fast system, ever. And in combination as well, like I said, with the dry fasting, because I put the very big, point on dry fasting. So I dry fast a lot while doing the master fast system. Dry fasting is a part of master fast system, but I'm putting big emphasis on a dry fasting, and so I never feel plateau on that system. So people get kind of in the boxes, in the frames where they believe one thing, and they cannot let go of that thing. Like, oh yeah, raw food is the law, and so of course I love the fruits and stuff like that. Of course I love the juiciest things in my life, but when I'm looking for the best tools in the world to bring this physical body of mine into the healthy state again, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And so that's how I started the master fast system. And I know that if I would go back to those days of eating fruits and as much as I want to, I would not have so much of a healing as I have right now. And so, like I said, even the juice, even that pasteurized juice with the lemon, I put that into my body, and I feel already I'm losing the energy. I'm getting kind of numb, and not much of the healing is taking place while you in the dry fasting. It's unbelievable. I mean, even the liquid and nothing. I mean, it's a big difference, huge difference between the healing states, because the true healing is the dry fasting state, and everything else, all different levels. Of course, your body is going to try to heal itself anywhere you're at this level. either that be eating pork or whatever, you cut your body's still gonna try to heal that wound as much as soon as possible. But when we're talking about deep things, and especially the neurological problems, because Dr. Morris and I know myself that it's a very difficult condition to heal, so it takes a lot of effort and time to go through that healing process. And so you gotta go very, very deep into those healing levels in order to heal those type of problems. Because I'm not gonna stay here. I want to become much healthier, healthy as possible, person, and that's why I'm on that system, as fast system, and I'm gonna go back to the fruits, a little bit of the fruits when job's gonna be done.
So you're doing 108 days again, or is that what you're saying, or how do you implement this right now? And why is it the pasteurized juice with a lemon so beneficial than the raw food, if you want to say the raw juice?
That's for the healing. That's for detoxing. That's for not sustaining your life, on. But that's for very, very deep cleaning of your body, of your physical body. And it affects all the bodies. I mean, not only just physical body, but that energy is so light, and there is no time preparing the juice. I mean, yourself, juicing all the fresh Concord grapes. But like I said, I was doing that for 2 years, and I did not receive so much of healing as I do receive right now on this juice. So it's, for me, people can say anything they want. I have my own experience. And so I know that fresh Concord juice never ever healed me as much as I'm doing the Master Fast system right now. So I'm receiving so much more healing. I mean, we're not talking about 2 times more. I'm talking about many times more. So that's the difference. When you experience yourself, and when you have something to compare to, you have absolutely no doubt, So that's the thing. When you read something, when you hear something, it's a one story. But when you have your own experience, then you have absolutely no doubts, which is what, and what makes more kind of sense to do. And like I said, I want to heal. I just don't want to just eat fruits and still stay in my kind of, limited body. And so I don't want that. I want a dairy-free body, which it does not feel the obstacles, and so it can flow through the life without even thinking of being in this body. So that's my goal.
I mean, that seems to be that's your driven goal, right? So how do you feel your purpose now? Obviously, you had some direct experiences from the within. So how does this perk you up for the next steps in your life? How those I know that you're not fasting because of the fasting itself. You want to have more information, I guess. You want to be closer to the source. That's what I heard you saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, but is that what makes you so happy that you say, I mean, no matter what, I go back and I want to have more of that connection. So, and fasting is my way. Is that more true or comes closer?
Well, like I said, it was 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years or so ago. I had this very deep awakening. kind of state. And ever since, I mean, I don't, with the mind, I don't create my life anymore. I just enjoy my life. I just enjoy everything that comes to my life. And like I said, I don't judge things good or bad. I just notice those things, whatever, it would be good or bad, but these still are things that will come to your life experience, and they are coming to your experience for a reason, for a good reason. It's like you did some action in the past, now you have outcome of it, and so you just see the things constantly in your life that are meant for your journey. You cannot escape them, and that's what it is. I'm just enjoying every single moment of my life. I mean, every single one. It does not matter for me. I mean, if it's good or it's bad, I just noticed the stuff right now, and so that's where state of my being came to this point where I don't get stressed or nervous about something, because things will happen anyway. They are meant to be, or meant to happen, and so I just noticed them, and so I don't get stressed anymore. Like I said, I don't get nervous. I just enjoy the life to its fullest.
I mean, that's I hope everyone can hear that and hear from the bottom of your heart what you're saying here. That's very sweet.
Time will come for every single one. Time will come, and sooner or later, it's all relative.
If you have anything else to say, or for the people, but maybe an example where you what bothered you before and then didn't bother you anymore, and even you enjoy it now. Is there anything that you have, maybe?
Yeah, like I said, the mind is the biggest creator creator of all the problems. Those are not problems. I mean, it dwells even in the past, whatever you did, or the wrong or good, or didn't go the way you want to, and it thinks about the future. It kind of makes the models of the future, and so if it happens to you, then you are happy. If it doesn't come to the reality, those plans, all of a sudden you get sad and stuff like that. So that's all the mind. But like I said, I mean, it depends of person's consciousness, where he's at, and so the more you get awakened, you more realize that. And like right now, like I said, I'm just enjoying life. And I don't create the plans because the life will happen anyway. And it's always happening to you anyway. And so I just enjoy everything that comes to my life. And so I have, like I said, I mean, I don't even know what stress is anymore, because I don't go into those the thinking processes, that thinking about what happened to you, why it happened to you, and how you could fix this or that way. It does not make any sense. I mean, things can happen to you anyway, and so you just notice them. And one moment came into your life experience, next second it left already, and so something new is already coming into your life. And so that's how it goes. Every single moment something new is coming to you for your experience, and you have to enjoy it, but not dwell onto those old energies and thinking and rethinking again about those. I mean, it does not make sense. But like I said, I mean, you cannot do anything different if you are at that state of a consciousness where you kind of into those modes of thinking and rethinking. But the closer you get to that top of consciousness, the life becomes easier and easier, and finally you enjoy it. I mean, then it does not matter what happens to you. I mean, it doesn't happen to you. It just how you take there's not your take on that, but just noticing what came to your life, and so enjoying everything, like I said, every single moment of your life. And if it's a full joyful moment, of course you jump out of joy. If it's a sad moment, of course you go down and feel bad for that moment. But you don't stay with that moment, because the next second, the next thing comes into your life, into your experience. And so that's how it goes. It comes and goes, comes and goes, but you don't have to hold on to something which does not exist anymore, or something that does not exist in the future. Future does not exist at all. It's only a model in our head. I mean, if things would go this or that way, but it's not the actual model or the experience that is here right now. So that's the only life we have, just right now. So, and that's how I enjoy the life, being right here and right now. I remember the days, and all of us remember the days of childhood, when you wake up in the morning and just thinking, or your parents tell you, oh yeah, we're gonna have this and that for dinner. And dinner seems for you so far ahead of time. It's like future, like fantasy, something, oh my goodness. I can't even think of I'm enjoying the moment. So that's how it goes for me right now. The days are so long for me, and the weeks and years, goodness, I can't even remember. I mean, so much of stuff happens. Because that's what it is. When you start living in the moment and seeing everything in the moment, feeling everything in the moment, life becomes just beautiful, beautiful thing. And so that's how it goes. We go through experiences towards that goal, to find that true self. Yep.
So, well, I mean, I don't know what I should say to that, even though I still have some questions like, okay, what your day is looking now? What are you doing now over the day? And I mean, for people, they really get, I mean, physically, they start to shrink. That's what I see often on those fastings, to bones and skin. And I don't know what you experienced. You look pretty good, I don't know if you ever went through that, but I mean, me personally, I do notice that my body really wants to, shrink to a degree that looks fatal to me sometimes. Right? I mean, losing a lot of weight. I mean, I don't know what is your experience with that. So that you're not, how I say, making too much choices from the mind while you're not ready yet. So maybe is there somehow a cushion or a way how you determine for yourself when to stop and when not to stop, when to push through?
Yeah, that'd be a truth, but I would say, Simone, that I'm doing those things not by my will, by this physical body of me, but something from within tells me, when to stop, when to start again, and so you really gotta listen for that guidance from within, and that meditation again, like I said, it helps a lot. Or if you don't meditate, just go into the nature more, and so try to kind of listen to the true self. I mean, sometimes when you don't have so many thoughts, all of a sudden you hear something like very clear what to do, and so that's your call. I mean, that's your destiny. I mean, to do something for the next step, and so that's how it goes. I mean, I go through into those deep detoxes or dry fasting states, and I know not with the mind, but I hear that clear guidance when to stop it, and so you squeeze most of a junk, and then you start eating again, and so you go into that detox. You kind of squeeze that sponge with the bad stuff, and then you're refeeding again with the much better food, and so that's how you build this physical body of yours, and it becomes much more clean every single time. And like I said, it affects every single body of yours, not only physical body, but the mind, the emotional body as well. And so you get cleaner and cleaner every single time, and so you put less and less effort into that, and that's how it goes. I don't put any effort into that, but I know. I mean, the more clean my body becomes, I mean, less and less effort to do anything I have to put into, and so it just seems like it comes and goes effortlessly. And so cannot really suggest anything for that type of.
I can feel your what comes besides, is so big, it makes me happy. So, well, I mean, it's the best you can give anyone to make a person happy. So I really thank you. I mean, that you have been willing and open for that. And I mean, I'm excited, So you gave me also a little bit motivation. So it's like the candle you have been my candle. Now it give me a little bit fire. That was very encouraging. So I really enjoy it, and I do crave for a community for biggerness, if you want to say.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming, but it takes time. I mean, for that. I mean, for that consciousness to kind of go into different state of being, and like I said, even the people who are willing more and more money, they are still part of creation. The creation enjoys itself. I mean, the physical dimension is the opposites. The good, like we call, and bad. So the grief, where it's a lot of money, and where it's soul seekers. So, and we still, both, we are the part of creation. And so that's how you experience yourself being on this end, comparing yourself to that and to the person who all he wants more money. And that's a point of reference. Oh yeah, I don't want money. I want to grow spiritually. But you don't have to feel that way. You better than he is, and that's how it goes. It just creation expresses itself, or can express itself in this physical dimension through the opposites. So without the night, we would not know what day is. Because if we would be living constantly in the daytime, we would not know what night is. So that's why we have opposites. And so that's how we become judgmental. You know, oh yeah, this is good, this is good, this is bad. But that's just the opposite end. So the creation can enjoy itself. So it has a reference. That's why we have a time reference. You know, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 second. So we have a time frame. You know, for to do something, to put things in the box, so to say, so we can, you know, put the name on it. Oh yeah, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. So we know how to perceive things in life. But you only have to notice the box. You know, you don't have to. The spirituality, even though how good it sounds, right? Oh yeah, I'm spiritual. It's still box. It's a box. We people put themselves in the box. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm spiritual. You in the box already. And if you're gonna stay closed in that box, you know, you're not gonna evolve in a sense, you know. But you gotta just notice the boxes, whatever those boxes are around you. And so you don't want to shove yourself in and close yourself into that box. But again, it's a part of creation. So you're still going to go through those processes, through those phases. And you're still going to put yourself into the boxes of, oh yeah, I want more money. You've been there. Believe me, we all been there. Not in this time, maybe lifetime, maybe in the past. We were shoving more and more into our, you know, the wallets and stuff like that. But now in this lifetime, we seek for something bigger, for that true self. Like I said, that's the biggest goal in life, to find your true self, not this physical self, but the true self. And so that's the main goal of every single soul. And that's how creation works. I mean, it goes through those levels to the point where it reaches the top. And so that the process of all the levels is still beautiful, wherever you are at. So that's, for me, there is no difference. I mean, person want a lot of money, or they don't have any at all. And so I can see the difference. It's still expression of the same source.
What are you doing now?
Right now, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean physically. I mean, you're active in life. You're living on the planet, right? So what is your role on the planet at the moment?
Like I said, the main goal for me right now is to heal this physical body. And the job that I do, I'm a perfumer, and it allows me to do a lot of that stuff. And so financially, I'm not kind of locked in. You know, I have a little freedom to do so those kind of more conscious and more spiritual things. And that's what I do. I mean, I work Monday through Friday. And weekends are free, and so I have vacation time, and so I do a lot of, not a lot, like 2-3 trips a year, but I like healing trips. And just recently I started going back to my country for a real vacation. After like 7 years after accident. So that was the first time. And before that, like I said, I mean, 3 years ago, I went to Brazil, to John of God place. He's the highest medium. I mean, he's the most and the strongest medium in this world at this time. And because the soul of the very, very deep healers are coming into his physical body, and so it's using his body to heal the people. And so that's where it happened to me a couple of years ago. That deep spiritual awakening. So finally, I lost identity. I didn't feel this body. I became that, and I'm just talking for the sake of a story, that I became. It was, it, there was no I anymore. I became that one consciousness. And so, and it was showed a lot of things. I was showed a lot of things, how creation works and stuff like that. I remember when I came out from that meditation, from that healing, meta healing. It took, physically, it took like about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but for me it felt like it took several lifetimes, because a lot of stuff was shown to me. And so ever since, I mean, I just came out from the room after that session, and finally I felt like I finally found it. I just exhaled all air, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's what I was looking for all my life. I mean, lifetimes. And that was the deepest experience ever, when I totally like lost identity with myself, with this physical body, and that consciousness became that one, and I felt everything in that room, in the region, the continent, everywhere, as one, through every single expression of that creation. And that was incredible. That was incredible. So after that moment, like I said, my life changed 180 degrees, and so that's why I don't have stress anymore. I don't get nervous. I don't create my future. I don't create my life anymore. I just enjoy my life, which is already predestined, so to say.
That we are predetermined how long we will stay. Is that, yeah? Okay.
Yep. That's what I was shown. I mean, because I was now, even in meditations, I have a glimpses already of a me, not this physical me, but my soul being in the different bodies and stuff like that. So I had already the past life, several past lives, lifetimes, that I've been into different bodies. And so a lot of deep stuff, I mean, happened to me spiritually from that point of view. And so that's why, like I said, I have totally different view on the life. And so if there is a heaven, is nowhere else. It's right here and right now. Yeah, yeah. Just to reach that state where that you just enjoy to the fullest every single moment of your life. And when you stop judging it, that's when it becomes heaven. And you just live in the heaven, even though it looks like it's expressed same physically, but your mental state is giving so much deeper experience of that, and which is heaven-like.
How did you free yourself from all this so you can just see it without throwing the arrows with a cord to it, So how do you do that? Or I don't know how you experience it.
Well, that's what it is. The suffering is just feeling sorry for yourself, and you hold on to something which is not a part of your experience anymore. You just hold on to something that you felt emotionally at the moment. And so you felt sorry for yourself because things didn't work out the way that you wished to. And you suffering now just because you're constantly thinking about that state that you would be able to live in at that moment, but it's not that moment anymore. Something else came to your life. It's constantly coming to your life, something new. And if you hold on to something from the past, that's where you feel suffering.
Okay, I agree to that. I do agree to that. But I mean, I have to say, when I went through my detox, the detox are more on the emotional levels, looks to me, than on a physical level. And thoughts, I mean, thoughts are coming first, you know, and then they create a picture, like the memory unfolds within. And then the suffering comes with that, and on an emotional level. And usually this happens because I'm just not aware of it. If I would be aware, I could do something with it. But when I'm into fasting, then it looks like they come up and they want to release itself. So I'm trying not to do something to it, just allow it, you know, and just feel crappy again, you know. But I mean, is there somehow other way how you can let that go? Or I mean, if I would be aware, I would not, you know, I would not just keep it there. I would do something, but I'm not aware, you know. You know what I mean? So is that what you're saying, that you went through lifetime over lifetime, that has been detoxed, if you want to say, on so deep levels?
Well, it all depends, you know, on a state of being, of your state of being. And so the thing is that the true you, Simone, the true you is experiencing everything. The thoughts, that they are not you. They are just like picture, which we don't see physically with our eyes, but the true you is noticing those thoughts, and those are like pictures passing by in front of the true you, and so you notice the thought, and that's all you have to do. Just notice the thought coming into your being, and to have much better visual kind of perception of that, it's a one simple thing. Just for a second now, close your eyes and say one simple phrase: Simone, I love you. Now you gotta tell that quiet, with only with your mind, not loud. And so now the same phrase you say in your father's voice. Now the same phrase you say with your mother's voice. Now the same phrase you repeat in the voice when you were a child, the little girl. Now that same phrase you repeat shouting out, I mean in the mind, very loud. And listen to that phrase. And now don't say anything, just think about that phrase. All right, now you can open your eyes. You heard that thought, right? Who heard that thought? Your physical ears? No. That's true you. Who is listening, who is watching, seeing, tasting. That's the true you. That's the divine source that experiences everything, absolutely everything. The thoughts, the visuals that we see, everything, it notices through you. And so the thoughts, just imagine right now that you are on the top of the mountain and you see the train on the valley passing by. These are your thoughts, and you are watching your thoughts. You are not the thought. You are the one who is noticing those thoughts. So that's how it goes. I mean, that's where true you are. And it's a very simple exercise. Just by listening, you can change the voices, right? Can you do that with the physical body? No, you cannot. But you can hear very clearly. I mean, what you can do on an astral level, you still notice that you hear and listen to those experiences. That's where true you are, which is undescribable. There are no words to describe that state of consciousness. And that's what creates everything in front of us for our experience in life. And like I said, everything, every single thought is predestined. Every single thought is predestined. So that's why, Simone, I told you I was in Brazil, and so I was shown how creation works. And so when I spent, like I said, lifetimes in that state, I mean, experiencing all of that, which is, and so it's very deep level of awakening, Simone. It's very deep. And like I said, you are the one who is watching this show, beautiful show. Everything is, it does not exist. I mean, everything is made from molecules and stuff like that, but in the end is made from atoms. And atoms are what? Nothing. It's energy. And electrons, you bounce those at the high speed and you have light, which is, again, energy, the vibration, the nothingness. And that's what it is. That's how consciousness starts all this creation. It looks to that creation through different, eyes, sets of eyes of that same creation, through different points. You and me are already like different points of that creation. And that's why we see the same car passing by, same train, same buildings built for years and stuff like that. But it's a one consciousness that creates that beautiful show. Nothing is real. The real is the one who sees this kind of movie in front of our eyes passing by. And all those detoxes and stuff like that, better eating and stuff like that, it's no magic. It's just the consciousness playing with itself, through us. We come closer and closer to that level to find that biggest truth of life, finally, that creation or creator of everything. And so that's the main point of a life. Just to enjoy all the experiences. And that's the biggest goal, to find the true you. That one self in the end of that show. And so that's, like I said, I can talk about that for days. Thank you, Simone. And that's how we evolve. Just playing that game, back and forth. And reaching that highest point of the consciousness. That's the only way. That's how it goes.
That's good. Okay. Big hugs.
And remember, Simone, always remember who is watching, who is seeing, who is listening. That's the true you. And you just experience that by repeating the simple phrase, and you already have experienced that, oh yes, somebody's noticing all my thoughts. And you are thinking with your closed eyes, only with the mind, vibrations, that energy. And somebody still is listening to your thoughts. So that's where you are. That's the true you, who is listening to those thoughts. And closing your eyes, that helps. Just to realize that somebody else is listening to all the experiences that surrounds you. And so the same way you open your eyes, you see things, but it's not you, this physical you, that is seeing those things. That is that which created all of that show, is enjoying the show through you, through this unit. And so that's the much better understanding of that true you, who you are. I mean, through this little example. So now we have much deeper understanding of who you are, really. The one who is experiencing everything.
I definitely, I definitely need to sit on that again. You know, I think I had occasions with that where I felt this, where I got a demonstration, and when I hear you saying it, I remember, and somehow it's like, yeah, I want to get there, I want to get there, right? So, and then realizing that I'm already there, you know. So, but yeah.
We always are part of that, always, no matter where we are at. I mean, eating pork or being here. I mean, we always are part of that. But now we have a chance to remember all that. And so you knew all that already, but now you know that consciously. And that's how it works. More and more of it opens up. I mean, in front of your being, in front of your as it experiences.
So you're saying, sorry, you tricked me. Yeah, you're saying that because everything has been there already, it's just like you remember, and in this way, because you become more aware again, you remember and bring it back into your life. Is that what's going on? Ah, okay. I'll take that. What am I doing with the thoughts I don't want, right?
You have an access to everything, but you are limiting yourself only to your experience through this the soul, through this physical unit. So you have a little glimpse of life, right? But you have the light of everything. And so you just experience this short kind of beam of light, but you are the light of everything. You are the light. And now you remember, oh yeah, I heard that somewhere. And so it feels that way every single time you talk with someone. Oh yeah, I knew that. And you asking questions only to confirm your answers already that you know. You just looking for confirmation by asking questions. So
Yeah, it's like
you
training
know,
a muscle, huh?
and yep, yep,
Oh,
yep.
I like that. That's why we like physical activity, is in order to train that and strengthen that, isn't it? Oh my God.
And that's the box again that mind puts into the box. Oh yeah, that's how it works. And see that that's how it goes. The mind always puts something into boxes, and so it organizes. Okay, this box goes here, and this box goes there, and so it knows, it has a point of reference. You know, oh yeah, there is a big money. Oh yeah, it's a spiritual. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel good with that. Do have some boxes, I have to say, because obviously I pushed. That's how I feel this. I pushed myself to a degree that I lost everything to being not capable of being stable and living on the planet in a calm sense. So I felt really, I mean, shaken by that experiences, right? So or by those experiences, and now I feel like I need to sort a little bit out, okay, and bounce back. Say, okay, I'm training and strengthening, and then I explore, and then I feel a little bit stronger and I can explore a little bit more, you know. So that's how my soul wants to do this, looks like, because it feels more comfortable to first gather and charge up, and then to push the limits a little bit, you know, and see how, without pushing me over again. And that's I don't like this pushing over so much, because it creates this back and forth movement where we are unconscious, very unconscious, like, oh, I can't do this anymore, or, oh yeah, I can do it very much, and then push you again, right? Like, and no results, you know?
That goes, I mean, back and forth, back and forth. It's like a swings in meditation. You're going back and forth, swinging, and then, like I said, you finally come into the middle point where you just observe the swings, but you don't go with the swings anymore. You enjoy the swings, right? But you just notice them going all the way through opposite ends of a creation, and that's what works. That's why you feel, more and more comfortable uh, by experiencing this and that for an extended period of time, and you want to experience something new and something more, and so that's how it goes. But that's creation. I mean, you're constantly moving forward and swinging back and forth.
Okay, all right. All right, big hugs to you, and I wish you, good luck with your deeper digging into. Yeah, we stay in contact, Giedrius, right?
Thank you,
Okay,
Simone.
thank